So, you just got the notification. You've been laid off. That emotional shock, it's real. But listen, the actions you take in the next 48 hours, they are absolutely critical. Look, I get it. It feels like a massive setback. But I want to reframe this for you, okay? This isn't just about surviving. It's actually about setting you up for a role that's an even better fit. Think of it like this. It's an unexpected opportunity to reset, reevaluate, and build a really powerful comeback strategy. First things first, we have to acknowledge what just happened. That news hits like a shockwave, right? And it is completely normal to feel this mix of confusion, anger, and uncertainty. We're not going to just skip past this part. And this right here, this is probably the most important mindset shift you can make. It is so crucial. See, companies make these calls based on finances, big restructures, market changes. You really have to internalize this. It is not a reflection of your professional value. It was a business decision, a strategy call. It wasn't about your performance. Okay, so we've acknowledged the emotion. Now, it is time to take back some control. These first 48 hours are absolutely critical for setting the foundation for your big bounce back. So here's a simple but really powerful plan for your immediate triage. Number 1, process the emotion. Just give yourself a moment. It is totally okay to not be okay. Number 2, review your logistics. Severance, benefits, all that practical stuff. And number 3, and this one is key, start thinking about how you're going to talk about this. We're going to build your story. Because you will get asked about this in your next interview. The goal isn't to hide it, it's to own it. Your story needs to be concise, honest, and forward-looking. Something like, my role was eliminated as part of a larger company restructuring, and while it was unexpected, I'm actually excited because it's given me the chance to find a new opportunity where I can really leverage my skills. Practice it until it feels natural. All right, now that you've got your story straight, it's time to build your toolkit. And we're going to start with the most important document you have, your resume. Okay, take a look at this. This shows the critical difference between a task and a real impact. Responsible for client management, that just tells a recruiter what you were supposed to do, but improved retention by 10%? Now that tells them what you actually achieved. Every single bullet point on your resume has to answer that one simple question. So what? Your resume needs to be a highlight reel of your impact. And remember, recruiters spend just seconds, literally seconds, scanning it. Does it scream problem solver? Does it show you can lead through influence? Does it align with the job description you're targeting? You have to make it easy for them to say yes. Okay, so your amazing resume got you in the door. Great. Now you have to bring that story to life. This is all about mastering your personal pitch, especially for that classic interview opener. So tell me about yourself. Now, to help you do that, there's a fantastic framework called the DIGS method. And instead of just, listing a bunch of facts from your career, it helps you structure a genuinely compelling story. So let's break down exactly what that means. First up, D is for dramatize. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be overly theatrical. It just means set the context. Don't just say we had low user engagement. Try this. When I joined the team, our flagship feature had a 15% drop-off rate in the first 30 days, which was putting our quarterly revenue goals at risk. See? Now we understand the stakes. Next, I is for indicate alternatives. This is a total pro move. It shows you're a strategic thinker. Briefly mention other options you considered. Something like, we could have launched a big marketing campaign or just redesigned the UI, but I suspected the core problem was actually deeper. Then, G is for go through what you did. This is where you become the hero of the story. Use I statements. I dug into the analytics. I organized 3 customer interview sessions. I worked with design to prototype a new onboarding flow. This shows real ownership. And finally, S is for summarize your impact. This is where you tie it all together with a concrete, measurable result. After launching the new flow, we cut the 30-day drop-off rate from 15% all the way down to 4% and actually exceeded our quarterly revenue target. Boom! Just like that, you have a complete, compelling story. All right, beyond behavioral questions, PM interviews are famous for their case studies, especially those product design questions. And for those, you absolutely need a framework. You might get a question just like this, and it's broad on purpose. They really want to see how you think, how you structure an ambiguous problem. So please, don't just jump straight to features. And for that, this right here is your secret weapon. The Circles method. It's this amazing guide that walks you through everything: comprehending the situation, identifying the customer, reporting their needs, cutting through and prioritizing, listing solutions, evaluating the trade-offs, and then summarizing your recommendation. It turns a totally daunting question into a manageable, really structured conversation. You're also going to face these other classic questions. The key is to have your stories ready for each one and ideally use that DIGS framework we just talked about. Let's zoom in on that first one for a second, the failure question. When they ask you about a failure, you have to understand they are not trying to trap you. They are testing for humility and a growth mindset. So pick a real failure, take responsibility, clearly explain what you learned, and then talk about how you've applied that lesson since. It turns into a story about resilience, not incompetence. So you've aced the interview, you've got the offer, the comeback is nearly complete. But hey, getting the job is one thing. Succeeding in it is a whole other ballgame. So let's talk about how to start strong. Okay, so here's a super simple roadmap for your first 3 months. The number one rule: don't go in trying to change everything on day one. Your first 30 days are all about listening and learning. Then, by day 60, you can start to identify some small wins, and by day 90, you're ready to really start taking ownership and driving real impact. And a pro tip? Share this plan with your new manager. It's a great way to make sure you're both aligned right from the start. So, I want to leave you with this one thought. A layoff is tough. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But it's also a very rare chance to pause and intentionally design your next chapter. So use this time, use these frameworks, and go find that role you were truly meant for. You've got this.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.